Welcome to the Vault Excel. Thank you for your time. It's late morning here, East Tennessee. This was an unplanned live stream, but we're going to chop it up. You'll be hearing from an African American female on her experience with a down low man. And then you'll also be hearing from two other African American men during this commentary. Thank you for your time.
Hi, it's Helena. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Let me tell you about the time when I found out that my boyfriend was DL, or on the down low. I don't know what they call it now, but he was having sex with men and me not knowing it. And we're in a full-blown relationship, have been together for over a year before I even found out. So I want to share with you the signs that I did not pay attention to in order to help somebody else. This is a story that have actually been, I shared maybe a little bit in a video, small dose, but even when I was sharing it, I was still so embarrassed about it because I feel like I should have known, but I didn't. And so I'm going to share with you some things that I noticed so to help somebody else. And if you've ever experienced this, drop it in the comments, because I'm sure there's other things that, can still be overlooked. Drop it in the comments, and then I'm going to share with you the story about how I found out. Now, this man was a well-kept man. Clean cut, kept his hair cut, kept, tailored suits, looked good, smelled good, that tall, dark, handsome. And he's an orthopedic surgeon. He had a lot of time and money. He would work from his surgeries mainly 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday. I still remember this because I'm like, he had all this time and I didn't catch these signs. I met his mom. His parents were together. I met his parents, but I got close to his mom and his sisters because they were sorority sisters too. They were AKA, and so we had a lot in common. And he was a single father. His oldest was off in college, and then he had a son that was still in high school. But we were talking about marriage. We were talking about even consider having another child. I'm like, I'm still gonna get the birth control right here until I'm married, because I'm not going to have this happen again. My daughter's like I said, about 4 or 5 years old around this time, so I was still young, but not that young. So when I look back at it, I'm like, I should have noticed. But one of the things was he was homophobic. He was very homophobic. Like, I would even show the stories. Like, I think the whole Bishop Long situation was coming out, and I used to go to New Birth Missionary Church in Lithonia, Georgia, and all the allegations were coming out that he was messing around with young men. And so he would just go on like, how did you not know that he was deceptive? And because in the beginning, we were very clear that we both wanted a monogamous relationship, that we were both straight and all of that. So it was very clear what our preference was, what we wanted to do in our lifestyle, for our lifestyle. So he was like, he was so deceptive, and how did you not know that he wore these tight muscle shirts and all that? He would just go in on Bishop Long, and I was one of those faithful people that I just never believed it until they, until he passed away. So, but he would just be so angry about it. So I'm like, when I look back, I'm like, most guys don't really care what you choose as long as they ain't affecting them. They ain't directly affecting them. They don't care. But him to be so homophobic about it, like it really directly impacted his life, that was a problem. Second, he was very hypersexual. He wanted to have sex all the time, anywhere. Now, I know it's great to have an active sex life. You're in, a serious committed relationship. Preferably, of course, you're married, but I've never been married, so I can't talk on that. So you don't have to judge me. But everywhere, bathroom, bedroom, movies, car, beach, swimming pool. Everywhere. And I was like, dang, he was insatiable. It's like, it was never enough, but I just thought he was just so attractive to me, like, okay, But when I look back at it, like, it was just always so much, almost too much, if that makes sense. But he's very hypersexual, and everything was about sex. Everything made him think about sex. Which brings me to anal sex was another issue. I'm not into that, but he would always try to push it. I know every week, at least once a week, he was gonna ask me. And when I tried it a couple times, I was like, this just ain't me. I can't do it. But he was like, come on, just let me try one more time, just let me try one more time. It's not gonna hurt, it's not gonna hurt, you don't like it, you don't like it. But he was always pushing for it. And when a man realizes this partner just isn't into that and he's still pushing for it, now I see that's a sign. Not to say that somebody's ZL just because they prefer that or want to try that or want to do that. But what I'm saying, that's not what I want to do. You can do anything, everything, but that's not something that I prefer or want to do. And you're still pushing for it, it could be the sign. Okay. He was always falling out with his fraternity brothers. He was a Catholic. I don't know. I love my Catholics. I love y'all, but you do have to know that some of you are married to men. There are some Catholics that marry their own fraternity brothers. So, but it wasn't the fact of that. It was the fact that he would be gossiping, talking about his fraternity brothers. And I know, you're Greek. I talk about, I talk about some things that's going on, my sorority sisters and stuff like that with him. But he would always gossip about them, talk about them, and he'd be back in their face. So like that fake kind of, it was like a feminine, like it's like a feminine trait to do that. But he would always do it. But it was like he was more like my friend than we would talk about it. But then when I look back at it, I'm like, women are really gossiping and talking bad about their friends that they hanging out with, like in a way that a woman does, But I couldn't tell. He was, like I said, he was a very masculine man. But for me, I just felt like he let down his guard, so he was just a little more vulnerable with me. So these are signs that I just didn't pay attention to. He wanted to lock me down right away. So I know by our third date, we were in a full-blown relationship. By our third date, he was like, this is what I want. I want to be with you. We both, have same values and the same goals, same things that we want to accomplish out of life, And so, yeah, we were in a full-blown relationship. And it was, to me, to kind of cover up what he was already into, because he was with a woman that nobody would think, he's with me, why would he be messing around? And I was younger and even, to me, more attractive then because I was younger. And so why would somebody think that he was into men if he's with me? So it was like a cover-up. They call it a beard, just a cover-up. And so those were the main things that I noticed. Yeah, homophobic, hypersexual. I would catch him watching Love and Hip Hop by himself. And Real Housewives and stuff by himself. So it was one thing when he would just watch it with me, and I know some husbands and boyfriends, whatever, will watch it with their girlfriends, whatever, because it can be contagious. Like you're like, I gotta see this. And then some people say, well, why does it matter? Well, because of diseases. I am very clear about what I want, but the reason why it scared me when I found out, and I got every single test known to man when I found out, because Black men are some of the highest carriers of HPV. And of course, I was worried about HIV. And of course, with us being very sexual, we're not using protection every single time. So I'm like, I was very afraid. And so this is a very serious issue. So what happened was, I was having I used to do a lot of big parties for my daughter in my neighborhood. And so I was hosting a big Halloween party. And he was like, so what do you want to do after it? And I was like, anything that does not involve kids, something with adults. For adults, like a costume party. I said, well, keep my costume on. I was mummy during that time. So my friends, they already know who I'm talking about. I tell you this story, so don't blast them. I've tried to be very respectful to his privacy. But anyhow, so I was mommy that year. He picked me up. We went to a place, and I was like, where are we going? He's like, he's going to a costume party. It's a costume party. I said, oh, okay. So we pull up to this place. It's completely blacked out. So I thought it was like a strip club. So when we get to the door, which I was fine with, when we get to the door, the guy recognizes him and asks him for his membership card. And I'm thinking, I said, you got a membership card for a strip club? And the bouncer, security, whatever, he was like, you ain't tell your lady this ain't no strip club. And I was like, what is it? He was like, the swingers. And he was like, and I think his face just dropped because I guess he just wanted me to get in there before he could tell me because he just wanted to surprise me. But I was like, I ain't going there. Why would I do that? That's not something that I want to do. You know, I already was given so much to even go to strip clubs and do whatever the hell this man wanted to do. But now this, I said, no. And I said, how often do you come here? He's like, it's not a big deal. It's no different than me going to the sports bars. I said, it is if you're having sex with these people. I said, are you having sex with strangers? He was like, hey, ain't like that, ain't like that. We're in the car, I'm still thinking, are you having sex with strangers? Do you have sex when you go in there? It was like, it's not that. It's just like me going to the sports bar or strip club. It's not that big a deal. I said, it is if you are penetrated and being penetrated. I said, but how would you feel if you came into my house and you saw me having sex with a man? What would you do? Y'all know what he said. Do y'all know what he said when I asked him, what would he do? Now, we've been in a committed relationship that I thought it was just me and him. I'm involved in his family. We're talking marriage, everything. Do you know what he told me? He said, I would join in. And he said it very relaxed. Because I'm like went to 100. I said, how would you feel if you walked in on me and I was with a man and this? And he was like, I join in. I join. It's not a big deal. Like, sex is not bad. Like, it ain't a big deal. So he just saw it as an activity. I'm here devastated. Like, from the deception. I said, so this whole time you were pretending that you were, you're straight. And you're pretending that you're faithful to me. He said, all right, you're blowing this, you're going, like, it ain't bad. Like, dang, it ain't bad. So he protects it. He's like, yeah. I said, have you ever been with men? He said, just only with couples. I said, but with men. He was like, only with couples. He never admitted to it. He never admitted to it. It wasn't until a couple years later that he actually got proposed to this trans woman. So I don't even know if they're still married or whatever, because he's still deceptive. Like, whoever he's married to or be with, he's still a deceptive man. But that's how I found out. I was done with men for a while, and then I had my last serious relationship was after that. But these things that I've gone through, I've shared so many stories on my channel, these things that I've gone through, it makes me so hesitant about being with anybody, because it's hard. Let's pick better people. It's hard to know who's honest. I think it's easier when you never leave your town. Like, I literally packed up and changed my life. I went from being in the hood, being out in Centerville, Illinois, where there was no opportunities for me. It's not that I wanted to leave. It's just that there was nothing keeping me there. I didn't know anything different. But I left and I moved my family down to Atlanta so they could have a fresh start. There's not one guy that I ever dated and I was in a relationship with in Illinois that ever left Illinois. They may have moved to St. Louis, which is like 15, 20 minutes away from Centerville. But they never would have taken the risk that I took to move my family, give us a better lifestyle, give us a better opportunity. And I've really worked hard to do that. So if you're at home, like a lot of my friends, they never move. They're still in Chicago. They're still in Centerville. It's easy to meet and marry somebody from your neighborhood. But when you move to a new city, a new state, it's hard to vet people. Because even his mom and them, they thought I was okay with it. They knew that they thought I was okay with it. So it's harder when you're starting over, when you're, trying to be a little trailblazer in your family and trying to do opportunities. Because, if I were even to move back to Centerville today, I would be in a relationship. And I would probably know their entire family because it's such a small town. But it's harder when you're going out to, you're moving, you're trying different things, and you're, trying to, grow your life and have generational wealth and success. It's hard. So, it's easy to say, you pick easy, but if you never left your hometown or your city or your state, and you're trying to tell somebody that literally packed up my life, lived in Georgia, lived in Texas, it's not easy to vet people. But these are some points that I wanted to leave with you, some things that I overlooked. It was nothing for me to be with a man that was well kept and took care of himself. So, but when I look back at it, I'm like, oh, I should have noticed this. I should have noticed this. So anyhow, I would love to know what your opinions are. What are some things that you've noticed about, or some signs that we should pay attention to as women, or even men, that may know some download signs or red flags or questions that should be asked in the beginning. It's like one glaring thing that you should know, and you're like, yep, yep. But some people can tell. I know right now, since I've been in Atlanta for so long, I now have what they call a gaydar. Like, I can tell just how your hand gestures, your movements, how you walk. I can tell now. But and you can choose whatever lifestyle you want. But for me, what I want, and it's, to me, it's almost no different than being with men that cheat. It's like, am I asking too much to expect a Black man to be honest, not cheat, and not want to be with men? Like, it's not as simple as you think, or at least it hadn't been for me. Anyhow, let us hear your comments. Drop them right here. Click like and subscribe for more content like this on relationships, life, and love. And be sure to support the channel with the Cash App. I appreciate your support. I only can show up because of your support. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate it.
Okay, so this young lady is giving her commentary of dating a man many moons ago in Atlanta. For those of you who have not heard about what goes on in Atlanta, Georgia, it's a metropolis of homosexual, bisexual men, mainly African-American men. It's been said around the globe for many years. It's basically the running joke in Atlanta, Georgia, and the metropolis area. Those are the outside towns, cities, boroughs of Atlanta, Georgia, that most of the Black men, preferably, are gay or bisexual or on the down low. Either way, it's messed up, because when you think about trying to date, you want to have a partner, a life partner, and or a husband. This would be a problem, especially if most of the men are gay. Number one, most of the men are bisexual. Then you're talking about those on the down low who are pretending to be heterosexual, but they are sleeping with other men. That's a problem. That's a problem. So why not be your true self? If you want to be openly bisexual, you like men and women, do that. If you really prefer men, then do that. But don't use a woman as a prop. Use a woman as a prop. And naturally, when you don't know the true mindset of a person, you don't really know if they like both, or they're just using a woman because they're worried about what people are going to think, what their family are going to think. It's a problem. It's a mad problem. And it also goes on in other races as well, foreigners as well. I'm hearing this too about Nigerian men, African men, which over there, it is definitely a no-no. And in many of you who follow world politics, certain things are not accepted as here in the States and in Europe. And homosexuality is one of those things. Third world countries like Africa, Iraq, those places, Afghanistan, being a homosexual is a no damn no. I don't give a damn if you're a man, you're a woman. It's a no-go. You have to hide it. You have to hide it. Because you probably literally will be hung or stoned to death. Just the way it is. So here we have this issue. Here in the dirty South, where the Queen happens to live. One state above Georgia. It's scary. It's scary being out here, one, trying to trust a person, period. Just the literal get to know you, trust you, believe what you're telling me. Then you have to worry about this. So we're talking about worrying about if a man likes a man, worrying about a man being a cheater, worrying about if a man has a lot of children, worrying if the man has a lot of debt or breaking the law or won't change, career criminal, all the negative things you could think of with a human being. Now you got to top of this. And let's be truthful. this is one area, and I'll speak for myself because everybody's different. Everybody's raised different. I'm not getting ready to compete with another man. Not now, not never. That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. Will I be devastated if I find out you've been sleeping around with a man? Men, of course. Of course. But one thing you're not going to get is me falling out crying in front of you and, oh, please, and why? And hell no, because I know I'd probably end up unaliving you. So the best thing for you to do is get your ass on. Get your ass some air. So I don't end up a YouTube story, a YouTube video, a Dateline video, if you see where I'm going. Get your ass on. And you have to wonder this about men. Okay? You know, I've come into the conversation with someone a year or so ago, and that subject came up, some he said, she said, gossip. And you always have to ask yourself, you know, well, why is somebody saying this about you? Why are you bringing this information out? So you don't know what to believe. Because, you know, people will make up things. And that's one thing I have learned about a lot of homosexual men. They will make up stories. There might be some truth to some of it, but then also there'll be some fudging and some lying. Because I've seen it. I've seen the men in action over the years as a young person. They like a guy. Maybe the guy don't like him. So now they'll put out a rumor that they had sex with him. So you don't know what's the truth. Because naturally the other guy, he ain't going to admit to, oh, yeah, he had sex with a gay man. Well, why is he going to tell that? He's not. So now I got to sit here and believe this guy. And a lot of homosexual men, they are known to put your ass on blast. They will tell the world that they have done something with you. And so what you have to tell yourself, if you're going to be hiding, you need not hide. You need to come on out, because there's no way you think you're going to walk around here, especially in small towns, jurisdictions, and think you're going to be on a down low sleeping with homosexual men, and you think it's not going to get out that you are that way. So whether you're doing it on the down low, you've been in penitentiary, jail, locked up doing it, somebody's going to come out and somebody's going to tell it. The signs. You're going to hear fraternities, black fraternities, main one I'm hearing about that I'd never even heard much about until watching these little videos tonight, or this morning rather, Kappas. Now, when I was in college, I tried to pledge as a little sister to the Kappa Alpha fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi. But I got sick online and I wasn't able to become a little sister because I believe they thought maybe I was going to tell what we did, because naturally, you know, there's secret things you do when you go online and that you're not supposed to ever repeat and tell, which is a part of the alleged hazing that ain't supposed to be happening. But anywho, I think the guys got frazzled, so I wasn't able to become a little sister. But anywho, fast forward, watching these videos and hearing this about the Kappas being more gay, openly gay, marrying each other in a fraternity, very spooky information. But I listened to another video, and that was the same thing. This guy that I'm going to play his commentary, he brings up the Kappa fraternity, and it's bothersome to me because I've always favored Kappas, you know, when I was going to college, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is so crazy. But that's just the whole point. It's just a group, a label, like anything, black, white, blue, Republican, Democrat. It's just a title. The title isn't supposed to make you. You're supposed to make the title, not the title make you. And I remember even in school, Kappas were known as pretty boys. That's what we called them, pretty boys, because a lot of them were very nice looking guys. They weren't your average, you know, they weren't your average looking fellas. They were dapper. That was one of the words used for the Kappas. They were dapper, okay? Nice looking black men. Well, we would say fine, fine as hell, okay? And usually with the Qs, the Q dog, Omega Psi-Phi, they were more the rugged type dudes. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, it's just a title. This business of gay guys, gay men being in a Kappa organization, I would say it's probably all fraternities. Because I used to think that with the Alphas in college, a lot of those guys appear to be more mild-mannered fraternity brothers. You know, they weren't as overt as the Omegas. And there was one guy I remember in school. He worked for the university where I was attending. He was an Alpha, and he was very feminine, and he was married. And first thing I remember thinking to myself, this boy is gay. This man is gay. It has this woman married to him and she don't see it. Now you got to think I'm just an 18-year-old and I'm noticing this guy who's working for our university and he's married to this black lady. They're both African-American. And you could see the signs. He was sugar as all get out. But they probably met young, probably met at the same university where I was attending, probably dated all through college, then married. And she probably just rode the ride, didn't think. I don't know. Don't know if they're still together. But they were a young couple then. And I do remember that. Thinking back, wow, he had some very feminine qualities. So in the end, that's what you're going to hear during this live stream. The signs, flagrancy with the hand, gossiping, talking about their male friends, male frat brothers, homeboys, gossiping about them behind their back, being homophobic, don't want to talk about gay men, avid watchers of reality TV. Of course, I had a good friend. He liked reality TV. He probably only watched it for the women because he just loved women so much. But who's to say that behind this guy, big muscles, nice looking, that maybe deep down inside, he could be gay and we don't know. Because that's the whole point. Who's going to tell you? He's not going to come out and tell you, oh, yeah, by the way, yeah, I like men. No, he's that rough and tough type guy, the type of guy that's, very vocal, type of guy who likes to fight. He likes to use his hands. He'll admit to that. And you look at him, you'd say to yourself, oh, no, he wouldn't be the type to like no men. But those are usually the ones that do. The ones that look like they wouldn't. It's still sad to me because being an African-American person living in this country, we're already a minority in the country. This country is predominantly white. So if you're a black person, man or woman, and you're wanting to stay in your race and date your race, which is your choice, your pickings are slim, especially when you're not living in a metropolitan area. And even in a metropolitan area such as Chicago, New York, LA, people are still complaining. They can't find anyone. They can't meet anyone. Well, one thing I've learned, and just from what I've seen, is that a lot of the men, they really don't want to be monogamous. So that's going to be a problem, whether they're gay, bisexual, down low, whatever. You don't really want to be monogamous. It's just going to be a problem for you. Every woman you meet, you're going to be lying, misleading her, and she's going to be crying and moaning. And then you're going to spin that story. Oh, yeah, I didn't work out with Susie because, you're going to have to make up some shit because you don't really want to tell the truth that you're just a whore and you want to sleep around with everybody. And that's another problem, period. Gay, bisexual, whatever, transgender, whatever the hell you are. You don't want to be honest that you like sleeping around with different people. That's a problem. And with that comes ramifications such as HPV, HIV, venereal diseases, syphilis, all of that, AIDS. That's the very reason how women became infected with HIV, because a man decided to sleep with a man and then sleep with a woman. And then next thing you know, a woman is now infected with HIV. That's how HIV passed to women, because a man decided to sleep with both. Of course, you know all about carrying a child and the propensity that your child will also have HIV. So it's rampant here in the South. Black people have a higher rate of getting HIV, AIDS. Okay? Then you have these men who are not living their truth and they're sleeping around with men and women. And as you heard this woman saying, sometimes they use protection, sometimes they didn't. So imagine being with a person that you think care about you and you care about them, and you two are not using a condom or taking the pill, IUD, whatever. And you're risking your health by sleeping with somebody who's getting in your bed every night, every other night, and he likes a man, but you don't know he likes a man. That's a problem. That's a mad, mad problem. Because it's one thing for a woman to try to compete with a woman. You start hearing little things about the man. oh, he's over here, he's over there. You're looking at phone numbers in his phone, or somebody's calling you. It sounds like a woman on the other end. He's being deceptive. He's not being truthful. God forbid they're coming to your house, knocking on the door, whatever the crazy nonsense is. Now imagine you flip that and it's a man. Your man is sleeping with a man. Another man is chasing your man. That don't even sound right. Okay? Because it ain't. How crazy would it be to be in love with somebody, a man, and you later find out he's been sleeping with a man? And now you're sitting here trying to decide, how in the world did I get in this situation to be with a man who I did not know liked men? Or did I miss the signs or ignored the signs? Because I think we all have seen shit that ain't right with people, whether it was dealing with homosexuality or not. You knew something wasn't right with that person, but you still dated them, slept with them, whatever you did with them, friendship, whatever. And your mind was telling you, you know this ain't right. You know they ain't right. Yet you're still hanging on. So there you have it. It's the hanging on is the problem. Because I can say honestly, I don't advise you hanging on to a man that's a whore, that sleeps with different women. You're going to have a problem. You're going to come up short eventually. And it also could cost you your life. Because all it takes is some crazy witch to find you, hunt you down, and blow your damn brains out. So same thing for a man. He's sleeping around with a man. He doesn't want to be honest that he's sleeping with a man. And next thing you know, you've got some fucking dusty ass man standing at your door talking about your man. That's the conversation I wouldn't wish on probably my worst enemy. And I'm definitely not going to have that conversation with a man. You can believe that. There will be no arguing with another man that's going to tell me something about my man. Because what I'm going to tell that fucker, well, if he's your man, then you can gladly have him. Let me make that clear. You can have him. He's all yours. Good luck, Chuck. And there you have it. Let's hear from a black man's perspective pertaining to homosexuality and the signs to look for. Very interesting. Some of you are probably thinking, well, a straight man's got something to say. Of course, everybody has something to say about this. Big Ward, the genius. This is his commentary. He's on his work. He's at work when he gave his commentary. It's going to take him a couple minutes to get to the point. Just bear with him. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me this late morning. This is an unplanned live. I had something else planned, but you know how that goes. I ran with this.
Good evening again, y'all. Good afternoon, brother. And I am back with a video, man. And I'm probably going to piss some people off with this one. I'm going to lose some subscribers. But hey, there what it is. If I let them follow me, for me to know that I don't cut no corners, I don't sugarcoat, I don't bullshit. I speak my mind, right? So, I ain't gonna lie, I was at work, when I'm at work now, when I was at my last delivery right now, in Walmart, and I heard I was eavesdropping on two women talking about how their friend found out that her boyfriend is on the download. And say, she didn't even know it. That they, cause he don't look like he gay or whatever, you know what I'm saying? She don't even know it. And I was like, look, y'all, there's all kind of ways to tell if a man is on the download. There's gonna be some kind of sign. They take a picture high. They're like, well, how you know? How you know? You must be gay. I'm like, nope. I'm securing my manhood. I'm 100% man.
Secure.
I have nothing against gay people. I just so happen to have gay people in my family. I grew up around gay people. I hung out with great gay people. Kids that I did business with gay people. I was on the, I'm gonna say the street gangs, drug dealer slash, hustler. So I did business with gay people in the street. They some of the best boosters, hustlers. They get money. So me being 100% man, I ain't got no kind of question about my outfit or anybody else thing. I'm securing my man is. So I'm able to talk it up, do business, hang out with, talk shit with anybody, gay or straight. I ain't worried about that. They don't intimidate me. I'm not afraid to be around them. I don't care what nobody think. You be talking to gay folks, you must be gay. I don't anyway. So anyway, throughout my years of gay people I know, friends or whatever, I talk, I ask questions, I'm curious as far as what be on your mind, what makes you the way you are, was you born. I ask you questions like, were you born gay? Did you choose to be gay? So forth and so on. And we be sitting up on the block, chopping it up, talking, right? And they'll tell me about guys that look like straight thugs that they were sleeping with. I'm like, for real? That's what you said? Yeah. Man, he loves it, you know what I'm saying? They be like, they talk. The gay people don't tell them. If you sneak around with a gay people, he don't tell them your ass. So I just sit there and listen to all the stuff they talk. My family member that's gay, friends that gay, whatever. So what I came up with, over the years, they was breaking down to you how you can tell when a dude is on the download. So I'm going to share this information with you later. And so you men that might be hanging with a dude that's on the download, you don't know it. And not that you care about it being gay, but you really want to know. Because for years, I had a friend that was gay on the download. I ain't know it. And I was wondering why people say I was gay, and I ain't know why. Well, I'm not. Now, knowing that because the dude I was hanging with, that we were friends for years, I didn't know what he was doing. So when people saw me hanging with him all the time, we riding out by ourselves together, smoking blunts and hanging out, you know what I'm saying? People think we know, think we doing the shit. I didn't even know. I didn't know what to look for. So over the years, now I look back on some of the behavior that he used to have, some of the things that he used to do. I should have been able to pick up on, this dude here, he's like that. Not that it would have mattered, like I said, I'm not homophobic, so I don't give a shit. But I would have known at least. So why people saying I'm gay and I don't know why, now I would have known. So here are some things, ladies. And that might be having a gay friend and you don't know me gay. So identify a download male. It's a big deal, it's a big thing, especially in the black community. With these download brothers. If you gay, I don't see nothing wrong with it. But just be who you are. Don't be lying to people. Don't be tricking people, especially women. Don't be in a relationship you gay.
Oh, sorry about that. Brief commercial. Some people might think, how would he know who's gay and he ain't gay? Well, he said he's been around gay people in his family, hung around people, so we'll hear what he has to say. Lord have mercy. Another day in the urban jungle.
So here's some giveaways that you need to look out for. And that's not saying it means he's on download. That ain't what it means. But it's something that you should look at. If you see these things, you should be cautious and keep an eye on them. Now, one of these things is, I'm going to piss y'all off with you, I know. God and fraternity.
Oh my gosh, no, here we go. There you go.
God and fraternity.
Let him repeat it.
You should be cautious and keep an eye on them. Now, one of these things is, I'm going to piss y'all off with you, I know. God and fraternity. Especially the Catholics. God and fraternity. And the reason I say this is because most men, most strong, solid, 100% heterosexual men, they don't want to hang out with a bunch of other dudes. My brother, my frat brothers, they don't, most things, this don't mean them dudes get all of them, but y'all know a lot of them are. And they came out over the years where you got openly gay couples getting married now. You know what I mean? So don't act like y'all don't know they in there. So if your guy is happen to be a fraternity, that don't mean he's gay. I'm reiterating that. But it's something to look at. Most men don't want to hang out with no long periods of time with a bunch of other dudes.
Exactly. I
And
agree with
everybody
that.
in the game or something like that. Or at a football game. Okay. A fraternity member is clearly the captain. Or Dr. the captain. They're doing that shimmy and shit and squatting down to the ground and wiggling. I always thought that was suspect to me. That don't mean shit. I ain't hating. I'm just telling you what I've been told over the years. So, fraternity brothers, fraternity members, especially captains, when they be doing that shimmying, and they call it shimmying, but
Oh, he's
they
stupid.
going all down to the ground, kicking their feet up and whatever.
Oh my God.
That ain't masculine. But anyway, another one. Now, all men, I ain't gonna say all men, most men, because you got some women that like it in the back door. You know, anal sex. There's a lot of women that like that. And as your man, he should be willing to do most of what satisfies his woman. But if you happen to have a man with that pretty much like he loves anal sex and all these things like you want to do, every time you go on, he's asking you, can he put it in your, in your butt? Y'all already know it's a big giveaway.
Let's stop right here, with Mr. Big Ward. Do you all agree? A man wanting anal sex, that he's a homosexual, bisexual, man on the down low. Remember, these are other people's commentary and their personal feelings. Does not mean that the Queen agrees with everything that's been said during this live stream from these people. But this is number 2, a male giving his perspective, an African-American male. He's talking about a man wanting to go in the back door a lot. You also heard the other lady saying the same about the guy she was dating, who eventually married or was engaged to a transgender. Well, he surely gave that away. I meant to say that earlier. That was most definitely her dead giveaway. Years later, he's marrying a transgendered woman. So he came on out the closet, I guess. So how do you all feel about that? No takers? Like literally. But seriously, a man always wanted to go in the back door of a woman. Is that a sign that he has participated in giving backdoor treatment to men? Or he just likes the sensation of going back there? Just asking.
Like I said, I've done it with a woman before. That's what she like. I've done it before, but that ain't my favorite. Like I just got to have anal. Like, baby, let me go. Let's do that. You know, I could care less about that. I like the coochie. But if I happen to walk into that,
oh my gosh,
I do it for her. But she would not have me sweating her to go to the back door. If your man, lady, every time you look around, you want to do anal, dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. It is what it is.
Sorry about that. He said he don't have to go back there. Okay, well, interesting. Some men do prefer it for the obvious reasons. It's supposed to be, smaller. That depends on the woman, of course. Every woman won't be the same, depending on how much activity she's had back there. But that's why most men prefer it, assumingly.
In them type of reality shows like that, real men don't like that. Your boy suspect.
He now has mentioned back door. Men who like going in the woman's back door. Men who like to watch reality TV shows. Wow. Now, you heard that before. Some men will watch it with their wife. She likes the Housewives of Atlanta. or Jersey. Okay, I'll watch it with my wife, girlfriend, but I ain't really got to pick it out, choose it on my own. Second time I've heard that tonight. Reality TV shows and anal sex.
I can't stand the one type show. Love and hip hop and whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If your man loves to sit down with you and he watching by himself, watching that crap, you better watch it. You suspect. Like I say, none of these things that I'm saying is guaranteed that you're gonna download, but it's a great possibility. If you see any of these things in your man, that he on the download. He whatever friends he do have, male friends, especially one particular friend, every time they arguing with each other, falling out.
Oh wow.
Men don't just argue and fall out when they homeboy. If your man got a homeboy, they every time they look around, they falling out with each other. They mad at each other. They going out on each other. They're in a relationship. Real men don't do that with their homeboy. We might have disagreement or whatever, but if real men have a disagreement with their homeboy, they're gonna cut that nigga ass off.
Oh,
Or they're gonna sell it right there, they're gonna be done with it. They're gonna be no back and forth over and over again. But if your man every time they look around, he come tell you that damn nigga set the set. Man, he with that bullshit. I ain't fucking with him no more. I'm sick of that shit. We just got into it. And then a couple of days later, he back hanging out with so and so. And then a couple of days later, he come tell you again that he got to another argument. Suspect. Men don't get into argument with their friends like that. Back and forth, back and forth. When a man gets into it, when you fall out with their own water, it's done. They're probably gonna talk for years. But if your man back and forth,
I must say I've questioned this behavior of someone. Always some type of altercation going on with the males. But the one thing I realized is that there will be an altercation at some point because of the type of people the person was hanging with. They didn't have their life together. They were problematic. But I understand his point. Guys usually don't bicker with other guys like women. Women are known to be more petty creatures. So we have disagreements with women more than men would have with other men. Guys laugh things off. You know, a lot of men are jokesters, and guys just laugh it off. Their behavior, whether it's erratic, illogical, or just, straight out buffoonery. But I do find this notion very interesting. A guy falling out often with a guy. He says he believes something's going on. Can you imagine that? Your guy keeps coming back to you, telling you all this crazy stuff about his homeboy, his friend, and you're not thinking there's something going on. You're just thinking, okay, they're not getting along. But then imagine finding out later, oh, they've been bumping tails. Imagine that. Wow.
his friend, arguing, they cool, arguing, they cool, arguing, they cool. That man and woman behavior. So one of them is the man and one of them is the woman. Trust me.
Oh my goodness. Gossiping, yes.
Talk behind his friend's back.
Yes.
To you, even though you're his woman, he always gossiping and talk about the daily tea.
Now it's funny this guy would say this. That is what the other lady said in the other video that I played for you. Identical wording. The gossiping, the backstabbing. They keep running back telling you, let me tell you what Paul did. Let me tell you what Paul said. Now you have a man saying the identical thing. Don't you find that interesting? That these two people probably don't know each other, never met each other, both saying the same thing. The backstabbing. The man keeps running back, repeating to you what his friend said and did. And then he goes right back, hangs with them, chills with them, come back. It's true. This is more of a woman type behavior. You know, what a woman does with another woman, what a woman does with her own man. Oh, I can't believe Susie did this. She said this. I'm sick of her, blah, blah, blah. The next thing you know, she's back hanging with Susie. So I find it very interesting. You now have a male's perspective saying the identical thing that the other lady said when she was dealing with that so-called down low brother. Very interesting.
What's going on? Who did what? Who said what? Talk about his friend behind his back. He tell you about his friend. And you're his boy because real men don't do that.
That's
He's
true.
suspect.
That's true.
He's gossiping behind his friend back to you.
But I've seen men
Talking
do it.
about his friend behind his friend back to you. He's suspect. You find a man, if your man got a friend, got homeboy, that he can talk on the phone with for hours, that ain't a family member, his mother.
Okay, this is where I fell out laughing. When he starts talking about a man talking on the phone with another man for hours, oh my gosh, I wanted to scream. I was about to fall out.
Like this whole conversation on the phone for hours with another man, he's suspect. Men can't do that. Most men can sit on the phone for no hour talking to another dude. It's hard for me to talk to a woman for hours. I want to see you as a person. We can get on the phone, talk, make plans, make arrangements, see each other, we go now. We sit up for hours on the phone talking to another man about this idle talent. Men don't do that. If you're
Now, this is so true. That is one thing that many women have complained about over the years. Is not having a man that would talk on the phone just for a little while. Of course, what one person's little while is not a little while to someone else. And most men you meet will tell you, I'm not a phone person. You know, they'll tell you that. I'm not a phone person. And God forbid, whoever invented texting, they just made it easier for a person to never hold a damn conversation with you. Because I think it's just so rude to text with a person back and forth, back and forth. I can't stand it. It's just something I don't like doing is that texting back and forth because you can misconstrue what a person has to say. So now imagine you like a man you're dating, okay? And he's got something to say about his God counterpart. He's got something to say, what he did, what he said. Would this bother you? Or you just be like, oh, he's just upset, he's just venting. They'll work it out. Very interesting. Men who gossip. It's not a good look for men, I must say. And I would be leery of a man that gossip anyway. Because it is a feminine trait to talk, and keep repeating what Pookie Ray Ray did, Bubba did. And then it goes from that to now he's worried about what the people across the street did, what they're doing. Now he's talking about the people at the job. That would not be a good look. That's just me personally. I don't care for a man that's loud, for one, boisterous, and then two, he's gossiping like a woman. That would be a turnoff. And I know someone who says he doesn't even like people talking bad about people, period. But I always say, yeah, you don't want anybody talking about you. Because you know you're always doing crazy shit. That's why you don't like hearing people talk about other people. Because you know they would have a propensity to say something negative about you. But I have a male friend who's like that. He don't want you saying nothing about people. Just like he don't understand, you know, what I do up here. Which, like I tell him, this is a commentary channel. This is a channel where I talk about what people are doing. Nobody has to agree with what I'm saying or my opinion of the people I'm talking about. But I understand, you know, people think it's a bad idea to talk about people, to discuss what they're doing and not doing. Because there are a lot of men who have that attitude. They'll say, oh, I don't want to hear that. It's none of my business. Because I've had a male friend just like that. Now, it's okay when he wants to repeat some he said, she said. It's okay when he's having a bad day and somebody's pissing him off. Oh, now he wants us to listen. But if you were to just come out the blue and start saying what you heard somebody did or said, he'll act like, oh, well, what are you talking about that for? Who cares? Very interesting.
I just wonder how y'all do it. Talk for hours. Girl, y'all been talking shit about people.
I love it.
So if your man is able, it's not a family member, it's not his mom, sister, brother, somebody like that, just his friend, whatever, he able to talk for hours on the phone. And somebody call him, set up plans, what you're going to do for the game, what you're going to watch the game, and you know, talk for 5, 10 minutes, make plans, make arrangements, and be done with it. That's how men do. If your man sits up for hours at a time, you look at your man like, damn, you can talk to a friend for a long time on the phone. Men don't do that. He's suspect. I ain't guaranteeing he don't download, but you better watch it.
Better watch it. Shut your mouth.
Not do that. I cannot sit and talk to no man for no hours on the damn phone. If he ain't no family member, or my mom or something like that. I ain't talking on the damn phone in a long time. I ain't gonna do it. And the main thing is to watch out for hunger.
Oh, this guy's funny.
And the most important and main thing, the best giveaway is if your boyfriend, manhood, whatever it is, he despises gay people. He hates, especially gay men. He can't, hold on, yo. And he can always talk about how I can't stand them gay motherfuckers. This is an abomination. They're understanding themselves. I can't stand them. I hate them. Everything look around, your man. Hate gay people with a
Thank
passion.
you, Shelley.
How most real men, I don't care about what no guy wearing pants. He don't bother me. As long as you're there, he met with your kids and them like that. He's grown, he doing what he wants to. What Paul to him? But your man, for some reason, he despises gay folks, especially gay men. He hates them with a passion, like it'll kill his mom or something. He just hates them. Most straight men ain't sitting around worried about no gay people. They ain't worried about what some dude wearing pants and what he doing with his life. We don't care. As a matter of fact, as a straight man,
Oh, I love it.
I would say all men were gay like me. That's no coochie for me.
Say it, brother. Say it.
I got my pickup coochie. All those men gay, I wouldn't care. That's all for me. I get all the women now. I ain't got no competition.
Oh, that's true.
So, if your man is beefing, just despise, hate gay folk with a passion for no reason you can't figure it out, it's because he on the down low. He hates himself because he gay and you don't like it. That's why. So, I know I'm probably gonna piss some people off with this video, but it is what it is. Y'all know me by now. So, take it how you want. Have a blessed day.
Well, and there you have it. I love it. He says, men are not concerned with what other men are doing, if they're wearing panties or whatever. I love that. That was so hilarious. Oh, when I first heard that earlier, I was screaming. But that's true. So long as you're staying in your lane, that's how most men feel about any situation. So long as they're over there doing their thing, whether they're blue, black, green, red, transgender, whatever, they ain't bothering me. I don't care. That's usually most guys' perception. A lot of men, they stay to themselves, they mind their own business. They don't get in other people's business. They're not down with the gossiping and he said, she said. They don't care. Now, naturally, these are just two different people's, perception of what they've dealt with in their lives. Not all of these traits and attributes apply to every person. But the interesting part of one of you saying in the chat about the shopping, that was said about P. Diddy. I believe Cat Williams or somebody said that. P. Diddy offered to take him shopping. So they found that a bit suspect. Why would a grown man want to take another man shopping? Well, when you're wealthy, let's be truthful. You can offer a person to take them out to eat, buy them something because you got the money to do it like that. But I get it. It's maybe not the best look to ask a man, hey, would you like to go on a shopping trip with me? We're going to hear from one guy who's well known here on YouTube, and he's a known homosexual black man in Atlanta as well, Walter Lee Hampton II. And we're going to get his commentary pertaining to black men being bisexual or gay. And this video is a little bit older, but we're going to play some of it. Thank you for your time. Let me see where I am in this video. Hold on, everybody. I might skip a little bit. This was 6 years ago.
They're very sexually active, and they're very promiscuous. They have no morals. You're in a relationship, you're married, but you know that you're gay or bisexual. And you tell your wife, you tell his girlfriend, you let them know, you discuss this, and you keep this a big secret. And then now, if I was a typical gay guy, I would have kept that phone number and called that guy. I have a lot more respect for that woman he was with tonight because it kind of broke my heart when she was talking to me.
Hold on. We're going to go back on this conversation where he met this lady in public so it'll make sense what he's saying.
I mean, the whole time, like looking at different areas, different. All right.
All these commercials. Good Lord.
I look at it and I put it in my wallet. I said, okay, thank you. He's like,
I know this.
nah, Arbor Mist, don't leave that mess. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you on the bottom.
He's talking about everything
So
else.
shopping in the store, the guy follows me. And I see him coming down my aisle, but I'm not really paying much attention. I just saw him, I didn't really think nothing of it. And so finally he comes to me and approaches me. We start talking. He does me about physical fitness and some other stuff. And we're just started talking. He was like, you're very attractive now. I said, oh, thank you. And we're in the grocery store. He was just walking with some woman. He gives me his card. I look at it and I put it in my wallet. I said, okay, thank you. He's like, yeah, my wife, she doesn't know. She know about me. I said, okay, this is what this man said in this store.
Wow.
I don't know where she is at this point.
Exactly.
So I said, okay. Put the card in my pocket or wallet, I can't remember right there. Just stuck it in my wallet. And what I normally do, people in their business cards stick in my wallet. So I kept walking and shopping and got through the front, paid for my groceries, and get out of the grocery store. As I'm walking to leave the grocery store, I see a couple of men leaving the grocery store also. This time, the wife comes up to me and she's talking to me. She's like, oh, I've been trying to get my husband to work out and do something like, work out like you do. You look like you're pretty good physically. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing okay. I just kind of, I love working out as every person trains. She said, okay, I've been trying to get my husband to get to the gym so he can look like you one day. I said, oh, I just kind of laughed. Because the husband was ignoring me the whole time, like looking at different areas, different things. So he glanced at me for a second with the other direction. His wife was very friendly, and they walked out the store, and I walked the other direction on purpose. That was kind of uncomfortable. Now, when I got to my car, and I was putting the groceries in my car, the back of the I drove to Mercedes tonight, and I was fooling around with the grocery holder in the back of the car, so it's rolling all over the damn trunk. And then something just hit me. I reached into my wallet, took that card out, ripped it up, and threw it on the ground.
I was wondering, because I was going to say to myself, some people would say, well, if you're not into messing with married men, why put the card in your wallet? Why not throw it out? Throw it somewhere. Actually, they don't have garbage cans just in the aisles in the grocery stores, but you all get what I'm saying. So now you hear he threw the card out of this married man that approached him in the grocery store with some woman, assuming that was his wife that he was with. This is bad, bad, bad. It's one thing for a man to flirt with a woman in public and he's with his girlfriend or his wife, not caring if he's doing it in front of her or she turned her head, went to the restroom, whatever. But this is deep because we're not talking about two men. A man is in the grocery store with his woman, his wife, and he's making a pass at another man saying, oh, you look nice. How crazy is that for you to be with a woman, your wife, and you're telling another man in a grocery store, he looks nice, and give him your fucking business card? This is crazy.
Now, I didn't like the way he approached me at the store. I didn't like the way he disrespected his wife there.
Exactly.
A lot of it just didn't sit well with me. So as soon as his wife didn't know. So that immediately let me know that she does not know that you're a gay or bisexual.
Oh, 50 Cent. I know it's one of them, 50 Cent or Cat Williams.
I'm finding more and more black guys. It could be the area in which I live in Atlanta. I'm trying to see guys who date women or are married to women. Just get worse. Because I would say this couple was much younger than me. I'm 47. I'm thinking they're probably in their early 30s.
Ooh, wow.
these women have no clue that they're husbands.
Right.
I'm beginning to think there's a large group of gay men. The group, let me see, how can I say this? There are a lot, but I'm beginning to really begin to think that there's a huge number of black men who are gay
Probably
or
is.
bisexual,
Probably is.
because I meet them every day.
Okay.
I meet them every day. Many of these men have wives, many of them have girlfriends. I'm not a bad looking brother, so I don't think I'm a bad looking brother. Yeah, I know this beard looking kind of rough. I need to get a chance to groom it before I do this video. I just have to get it. This thing is rough. But anyway, I don't think I'm a bad looking brother. So I meet guys all the time. I meet a lot of guys who have girlfriends. They're married.
I want you all to think about what Walter Lee is saying in this commentary. He lives in Atlanta, Georgia at the time of filming this video. He's 6 years old. Just imagine this man saying he's approached by men all the time who have girlfriends and wives. I want you to think about that for just a second. And I've heard this a lot on reality TV. I remember Tiny talking about, T.I. messing around with different women and, having to walk around and hear, people coming up to her and say things, if indeed they would ever, was to divorce. She'd always have to hear about it and bump into him. And I get that, because that's the notion when you don't know what a place is like, a demographic. You're thinking, oh, people can separate, divorce, whatever. They ain't going to bump into each other. Well, when you're famous, you would. You go to events, you take part in the things going on in the community, you're going to bump into each other. And even if you weren't famous, there's still the chance that you would still bump into your ex-mate out at the grocery store, the mall, somewhere. You just can't assume if you think you live in another part of town or outside of the town, you're not going to bump into a person. I've heard so many crazy stories. People bumping into each other on other sides of towns and big cities, because that's a notion to a person that don't live in a big city or a small city. You don't think you'll bump into a person somewhere. Let's say you quit talking to somebody or you break up with somebody. That's usually when you bump into people, when you have divorced, broke up in a relationship. So I think about this situation here, people paths cross. And this man didn't care about approaching this gay man, this muscular guy, in a grocery store while he's with his wife. Bold. It's a bold move. So what you have to tell yourself, Walter Lee is saying, I meet people all the time, men who come on to me, make passes, blah, blah, blah. And they have women, they have wives. Then you got to think about this guy who's approaching him in a grocery store. He's done this before. You think he just walked up to Walter Lee and just said, oh, hey, you're a nice looking guy. That was his first time doing that. He didn't tell him that. Oh, hey, please, no disrespect, but I just want to let you know, I think you're very handsome. You know why he went up to Walter Lee? Because what is that old saying? Like minds. He's a gay man on the down low, and he saw another gay man in the damn grocery store, which was Walter Lee. Now, your first perception of seeing Walter Lee, if you turn on one of his videos or just see a thumbnail, you would assume he's a straight black man. Because you know what you're going to see? A bald head with big old muscles and shoulders. But he is openly gay. So don't you think that's interesting? And I've heard this so many times with gay men saying they can go in church and pick out a gay man in church. That's scary as hell. Because that's where you're supposed to be trying to follow the Bible and, take the word from the Bible out to the street. And I've heard many gay men say that. Oh, I can go into church and tell you who's gay in there. That ain't good. So that man approaching Walter Lee knew that Walter Lee was gay. He saw something in him that showed him he was gay to where he felt comfortable to approach him in a damn grocery store with his wife there. This is crazy as hell.
Because they're gay or bisexual. And I don't say anything. I've learned to just leave it alone. very concerning to me. Because another issue I know about these guys, they're very sexually active and they're very promiscuous. They have no morals. You're in a relationship, you're married, but you know that you're gay or bisexual. Do you tell your wife? Do you tell his girlfriend? Do you let them know? Do you discuss this? And you keep this a big secret? And then now, if I was a typical gay guy, I would have kept that phone number and called that guy. I have a lot more respect for that woman he was with tonight, because it kind of broke my heart when she was talking to me. Because she was standing by her husband, but he wasn't standing by her.
Exactly.
And I've seen this over and over again. I don't have a problem with people who are bisexual.
Eddie's pretzel bacon barbecue.
Says he don't have a problem with people being bisexual. Okay.
Being your partners in deception. That's not right. If you're gonna be bisexual, then your partner should know, male or female. If that's what you enjoy doing, then you should be able to discuss it without a problem. But to hide it, deceive people, play games, I don't like it. It doesn't sit well with me. And I keep meeting guys over and over and over who are living these double lives. So the older I get, the more people I meet. But for some odd reason, as I get older and more mature, I've met a lot more guys who are bisexual, who don't participate in the gay community. They don't go around gay folks. They don't go to gay clubs, nightclubs, and parties. They live a completely different life. I hate to use the term down, but I think it's not really a good term anymore. That these guys live a life that they're sneaking around, having sexual relationships with men while they're married.
Well, it is down low.
Or dating women.
Ain't no other way to describe it, but down low.
Are they sharing this information with these women? And if I was a woman, or if I think black women need to be careful.
Yes, we do.
We get asking a lot more questions. A lot of these women sometimes are presented with issues that they don't understand, and they won't listen to their own intuition. I've had this issue happen in the past about meeting married men and their wives or girlfriend approach me later. And they don't want to follow their own personal interest in something inside their gut telling them something's not right with my husband. And they ignore it and push it off.
It's very true.
But something's telling you inside, something doesn't sit well with me with the man that I love. I think something's not right. You need to listen to your inner spirit.
Exactly.
And move yourself to a safe place.
Exactly.
Or get him to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Communication is the key to this, to make this successful. Maybe some of them won't have a problem with you being bisexual if you're willing to communicate and talk to
Exactly.
your partner, your husband, your wife, or girlfriend, or whoever.
Walter Lee is telling the truth. He felt bad for that lady in the grocery store. Reason why he didn't keep the business card, allegedly. But there are some men who would have kept the card and called the man and got them a quick booty call or continuous booty call with a man. Literally. And I still say down low is appropriate for a man running around pretending that he doesn't like men but like women, but he's sleeping around with men. What else would you call it? Down low. It's the perfect terminology. You on the low down. You in the closet. Take your pick, however you want to word it. Your ass is wrong. Because this is why we have HIV/AIDS right now. This is why we have venereal diseases. Okay? Men sleeping with women, women sleeping with men sleeping with men. It's all the same. And nobody's using anything, and everybody's trusting that person that they're laying down with. That's they think is doing right, telling them the truth, being their truthful self. when they are not. As I said, it's one blow to the spirit to be dating a man that's a whore, a male whore. He sleeps with everything. Every woman in sight. Now you find out, oh, he likes men. So now I've got to compete with a man and a fucking woman? What the hell? Hell no. I'm not trying to compete with none of you. Or as old folks will say, Ewans. I ain't trying to compete with Ewans. Plural. Ain't got that kind of time. This is why it's terrible being a young person. Because with young people, you know, the sex is everywhere. It's free. Everybody's out doing their thing. There's no repercussions. There's no care. And now, even at my age, 53, it's still the same. And it's embarrassing to even say that at this age. The men my age, older and a few years younger, they act as if they're 18 and never saw the opposite sex before in their life. They act like they've been on an island since birth, and poof, somebody pulled up a boat, put them on it, brought them back to the mainland, and they have just lost their damn minds. It's the same now, and I'm 50-something years old. Men who have no control. This is why they got so many damn kids running around, kids they don't know they got, kids they don't want to take care of, because there's no ramifications. There's no care. There's no self-care to care. And this is terrible. As I said, it's one thing to be with a man who is a whore and he sleeps with women. Back to back. Women. Don't care. Don't want to use anything. Making babies. Now, here is a man sleeping around with men. On the down low. You don't know the man you got likes men. And just imagine, as I said before, the devastation of finding out you're with a man who likes men. You're talking about a deadly situation. Somebody end up losing their life.
But you're deceiving people. Deception is the problem. Now, I could be wrong. Let me pour some of this cheap wine. But I don't know too many black women that's going to accept a bisexual man. I don't know.
I think health insurance.
Well, your children still got to go out in the world, even if you homeschool them. You can't hide the world and people from homeschooling. Children have to grow up and they have to be in the world. Bad things can still happen to your child being homeschooled. They got to leave the house at some point. They got to go to the store. You're going to take them on trips. Children are assaulted in bathrooms. Family members can assault them. Parents can assault them.
I don't know.
It's the world.
I'm sure there's some out there. I'm sure. The vast majority of them, I don't know. Ladies, you have to tell me, are you cool with dating a man who's bisexual or gay? Is that okay with you? I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, that's why these guys lie and deceive and play games and hide and fool around and do this mess. And I'm not judging anybody because that's their lives, not mine. I've never lied and deceived anybody in my time. I've never played games with anybody ever.
Wow.
Not when it comes to emotions and heart, and, it just doesn't sit well with me to deceive somebody. I really just live the truth.
Okay, Walter Lee.
Because I think truth is a whole lot easier than a whole bunch of pack of lies. Deception, devious. I find that bisexual are the worst. But that man approached me in that grocery store with his wife somewhere working around in that store. She's busy buying soaps and shampoos, flour, and probably buying groceries to cook his favorite meal.
Huh.
And he over the next out trying to get some dick.
Oh my goodness, shut your
No
mouth.
problem with this.
Damn.
A lot of gays would think that a lot of gay folks don't have a problem with this. They're glad he took his number and called him.
Exactly.
I got rid of that card. I didn't even want it in my possession. They wasn't gonna call me either. I just got rid of it. I don't like guys like that. And let me get this straight. This is, I'm not interested in individuals like that. Not that I don't like them because they don't have anything to do with me, and I don't have no reason to like or dislike them. If that's what they choose to do, and that's who they want to be,
Exactly.
that's on them.
Exactly.
It's their lives.
Exactly.
It's unfortunate that they have other innocent women involved in
Exactly.
this mess. Now, I've been criticized. They say, well, there's a lot of women out there who do the same mess.
Yes, they do.
I can imagine there are a lot of women out there who are dating men who they are bisexual, and they're not disclosing this information to their male counterparts, or their husbands, or boyfriends, or whatever. So, yeah, I get that too. I'm not giving them a pass at all. I just prefer discussing what I'm familiar with. Something I see every day. I was in 2 gyms today. I meet the Stewart brothers every day. Every day. They walk up and talk to me. I just say I'm not a good brother, and I obviously people find me to be approachable. I learned to smile a lot more. When people see me smile and say what's up, that opens the door to speak. And they come and they speak, they talk. And every time I was at getting my oil changed, and I saw this guy circling the block. I went outside. I was getting an oil change over, I have to get this oil change place. I just went outside to get some fresh air instead of sitting in the waiting room. And this guy circled the block a couple times before he finally pulled into, I went in all the time to get something to do my tires to that car. And this guy pulled into the lot where I was at, where I was getting the car fixed, rather. And he pulled up into me, said, man, you know what so-and-so's at? And I was like, I know he was asking me for directions. Of course, I didn't know what he was talking about. This man, as he was talking to me, he had a baby in the backseat of his car, in a baby seat. And I remember him getting out of his car and coming up talking to me, giving his car information. So I really didn't think much about it. But whenever something like that happens, it's kind of concerns me. I'm looking at you. I see the wedding ring on your finger. I look at certain stuff. I'm not stupid. I feel sorry for these black women and who don't understand this. A lot of black women will never understand this. A lot of black women can't see it. Maybe they don't need to see it. Maybe they don't need to know.
Yeah. He is stupid. Not the Arbor
Three for
is.
$9.99. I got 2 of them. I
$9.99.
should have got my regular Moscato. This is not good.
Oh, that's too funny.
Well, this is gonna be a short video. I just feel that there's a lot of deception going on in Black America, particularly by men. They seem to want to stick their dick in any damn thing. It doesn't matter. I've never met a group of whores who were sexually dysfunctional, crazy men in my entire life. And every day I meet more and more. Where are the normal guys at? We're trying to build a family and do something.
Oh, they don't want that, honey. They don't want that.
18 times. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. Maybe I need to get out of LA Fitness and all these different gyms. Maybe I need to stop shopping at grocery stores like Kroger and going over to Whole Foods. Maybe they're over there. The Whole Food prices are 3 times at Kroger, so that's why I go to Kroger's.
Oh, God
And
forgive
I'm
me.
just trying to figure out where are
Jesus.
the people who are trying to build something.
Said Whole
have something in
Foods.
our community. This is why the Black community is so dysfunctional. Too much confusion and chaos.
Oh, God,
Lies and
man.
deception.
Oh,
Where are the normal people?
yeah, where are they?
Or is this the new normal? I hope it isn't. Because if it is, for Black Americans will continue to go downhill completely. We have to begin asking questions about sexuality, understanding bisexuals, understanding gay men who still participate in loving relationships with women. I need more education on it. Maybe if I have more education on it, maybe I can understand it and accept it. Maybe that's where I'm lost. Because maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. Maybe I need to begin changing my thoughts and opinions about this. I don't know. Like I said, it could be as cheap as why I'm talking.
Yeah, you act like
But
you're
I'm trying to
tired.
seek some type of clarity and understanding. That's something I don't agree with. And I almost feel like I am, some people are against gay people and they don't understand it. And I hope that I'm not attacking these men, because these men very well might love their wives and girlfriends. They just being dishonest about what they really like. Also their
Preference.
sexuality is
Yes.
out of whack here. Well, so, well, this is not being truthful to their wives and girlfriends.
Exactly.
I don't know. I love you all's thoughts and opinions. But I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, today is, I'm tired. Sorry.
Yeah, you
It
can
is
tell.
Tuesday, September 26th, the year is 2017.
How old this video
And
is.
I'm out of here. I'm going to go my ass to bed. You all have a good night. Bye-bye. Look forward to reading your comments.
All right, everybody, that's Walter Lee. This is several years old. Coming up, be 7 years in September. I'm not going to hold you guys either. I played you 3 different opinions, 2 African-American men and 1 female. And the first 2, the African-American female, who realized she was dating, oh Lordy, gay man, down low, whatsoever. You know, it comes with a price. So that's the thing. With all the laughing, the jokes and everything, it comes with a price. And it's sad. Because as I said, it's already hard enough trying to date and meet and greet. And as you get older, it gets harder trying to date and meet somebody that's serious. And as you hear him saying, as a gay man, you know, he wants somebody that wants a family, start a family. Well, as you see, all different walks of life of people want the same thing, whether they're gay, bisexual, transgender, or whatever. But there are people out here who are not serious. And you're going to have to weed them out on your journey. But you do need to look for the signs. And I think it's sad for anybody to even have to wake up, especially a woman, have to worry about looking for the signs that a man is gay. It's bad enough trying to be with a man and just learn him, date him, and see what he's about in general. Now, you got, you know, that's got to be added to the list. Well, I got to look for the signs to make sure he don't like men. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Because that's the one thing that women are looking for, sad to say, is if he's messing around with a woman. Women. Plural. So who the hell wants to be looking to see if he also likes fucking men? It's like, at this point, you want to just give up, throw in the towel, say, fuck it. I'll be the lady with the cats. The lady with all the dogs and the parakeets stinking up my house. Because you can't date a guy. And I don't care what anybody says. There's no comparison to having an animal, hobbies, church, as having a mate. God intended us to have a mate. That's why he made a woman from Adam's rib. That's what he intended. He had a purpose. He had a protocol. And I believe that. But we don't live in that type of world anymore where that was expected. That a man and a woman would meet and greet and set up house and have children and live happily ever after. The world has never been that way. It was an expectation. But it's not to say that people weren't flawed even in biblical times. Of course they were. They were evil, manipulative, vengeful, spiteful, homosexual, all that even then. It was just hidden. That's the difference. So what do you all think about this commentary? Got 60 people in the room. Thank you for joining me. The signs to look for: flagrant, hand movements, feminine qualities. Like to watch reality TV shows, what we heard in this commentary. The man likes to gossip about his male friends behind their backs. Talk about what they did and didn't do. Always falling out with a man friend all the time. The guy says either one's a man, one's a woman. Take your pick. Anal sex. Both parties mentioned that earlier in the show. The woman said the guy always wanted anal sex, and she wasn't down for it. You hear the black guy also say that. Second guy say the same thing. He's not really into having anal sex with a woman. But he says that's also a sign you should look for a man that always wants anal sex. Very interesting. Because I'm sure everything's about preference. Some men like anal sex, and they don't necessarily have to be a homosexual man. But I find it interesting both parties mention that. It's scary out here because you don't know what you're getting. I know I've seen videos the past couple of years being on social media of the girls, young girls who find out their boyfriend is on the down low. I remember watching a video on Facebook a couple months ago, and the girl's confronting the black guy. She's black, he's black. And she's confronting him about, oh, I know you've been talking to such and such, such and such. And this crazy motherfucker admits it on a live stream. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Once he admits it, she's like, oh, yeah, I found out about you and such. You've been, effing dude, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and so what? Oh, my God, I could have jumped through her phone myself. See, that's when he would have been laying face down. Wait a minute, Negro. You've been having sex with me and we're not using no condom, and you're going to admit and tell me, oh, it's no big deal that I caught you sleeping with a man? That's what you're saying to me? Oh, hell no. Hell no. See, he wanted an ass whooping right there. And if he had been with the right black woman, he'd got whooped to sleep with something, a frying pan, a fist, something. Oh, it's funny to you that you've been sleeping with men and you've been sleeping with me too? But it was just the audacity to brag about it. He didn't even have decency to just lie, knowing she's got the phone open. Somebody with some type of decency would have just said, it's a mistake, blah, blah, blah. Turn the phone off. We can talk about this. Everybody don't have to know our business. That's what a decent human would have done. And then once she turned the phone off, he could have just confessed to her and told her the truth. But she's streaming live, and he admits it. Yeah, I've been messing around with men. You just jealous, blah, blah, blah. Some type of crazy ass shit he said. I thought, oh, yeah, he wanted to get knocked the fuck out. Because, see, that would have enraged me right there. That would have enraged me. Naturally, I wouldn't have been going on a live stream announcing my business, because now I'm telling the world that I've been sleeping with a man that's sleeping with men. But I've been pissed off that now you're making a joke out of me catching you. And then you want to try to poke fun like he do it better and all that type of bullshit. Well, good. He do it better, then you need to get the fuck on and get with him that's doing it better. See, I couldn't deal with that. Because that right there is how you end up dead. You've been caught, and now you want to make that person feel like what they have been doing wasn't good enough. And now you're comparing a man and a woman. How the fuck you going to compare a man to a woman sexually? What the hell are you talking about? He don't got what I got, and I don't got what he got. So there's no comparison. But see, this is what happens when you deal with a fuckface that's honorary. And he's disgusting because that's a young man. And that shows you, if you're talking like this as a young man, imagine him later down the road. Still lying, still manipulating, still using women, still probably hiding in the closet. He'll move around place to place until something terrible happens to him. He ends up dead in a casket. It'll all be for nothing when he can just live his truth. And see, that's the whole point of the story. A lot of these men, they steal or they do like women and men. But they want to hide behind the woman and then dilly-dally with the men in the street in the closet. No, bruh, can't do that. Can't have your cake and eat it too. Which I never understood why anybody made that saying. What's the purpose of having a damn cake if you can't eat it? I'm just saying. I think I kind of like it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. But anywho, this is crazy. And as you heard, Walter Lee saying here, the last gentleman speaking, homosexual male, he doesn't understand the way of the world and how people act and don't want anything in life. But that's the whole point. This is just the world we're in. We have vengeful people, miserable people, confused people, and they're just out here living. They don't give a damn. They're fucking cats, dogs, women, men, billy goats. What do they care? They're just living. And I tell people, if you would be a fly on the wall in some people's homes, you probably, your eyelashes and eyebrows would probably burn off if you knew half the shit people are doing out here. And they're praying the secret don't get out because they want to hold those secrets. And that's the whole point about a man hiding in the closet. He wants to hide behind a woman. Women, he does not want that cat out of the bag, and at all costs. And I was watching a true crime story about a week ago, maybe not even 2 weeks ago, and it was a Caucasian woman who was dating a man. No, but she was married to him. And somehow she found out he was messing around with men. She found a site on a computer phone or something. And he was signed up on the site as a male prostitute. That was the most disturbing story that I have watched of true crime. I can't remember if it was which network aired. It was A&E or something. Might have been one of those marathons they were running. But it was baffling just looking at this woman. She married him thinking she was going to have a better life. I think she took her daughter with her. He didn't want her to work, so he was taking care of her, providing a good, life for her, allegedly. But it was a trap, you see. She was trapped. That good life he was trying to offer her from a bad marriage or whatever happened with the other marriage, it was a trap. Trap her in here. Make sure she don't have a job. He was possessive of her. See, that was a sign right there. Possessiveness. I think I've seen that sign with men who are cheaters. They're always possessive of the woman. I always want to know where she's going, when you're going to be back, who you're talking to. That's because they're out there fucking and screwing. That's why they're all in your face and your grill. Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? But you dare not ask him who he's talking to, where he's going, who's calling his phone. So this man is taking care of this lady. She's got her daughter in tow they're all living in this man's house, nice home. And then she later finds out he's been prostituting as a male. She sees his profile and she realizes this is her husband in this profile on a site where you solicit yourself for sex. So she's disturbed. She's angry. And I do believe she told him about it. And the gist of the story is that she went missing. So as you heard Mr. Walter Lee saying, about talking about your truth, what you expect from a person and their truth, talk it out. Well, she probably talked it out, and now she's no longer alive. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? You have to be very careful what you confront people with. And this has been said 1,000 times pertaining to domestic violence and leaving a situation. You have to be very careful what you confront a person with, such as, I know you've been cheating on me. I know you've been lying to me. I know that you have other children. I know that you have been stealing from me, defrauding me. You don't know what's going to happen in that moment when you confront a person about a deadly sin, vice, because they want to hold on to you for whatever sick reason, okay? Whether you're the breadwinner or they need you for whatever companionship. And naturally, he was just using her as a crutch because he didn't want the world to know he's some, gay white man walking around prostituting himself. Nice looking white man, but he's trash. He's trash because he has no reason to be prostituting himself with men. Just trying to make it like, oh, just doing it for the money. Come on, dude. You all living in this nice ass house. You need to find a job. This is the only job you can think of is prostituting with men. No, you like men. And now the wife has to pay the piper because she wanted out of this marriage, but I think she was scared to get out. And I think the little lady went there. It might have been True Crime Daily, the podcast, True Crime Daily. Because I think they went to the door, knocked on the door, and he, basically didn't want to answer, of course, because he don't want people watching and wondering why these news agents are outside his door asking him questions about a missing wife. But the point I'm trying to make is when a person has a secret they want to keep hidden, they will try to hide it at all costs. So that goes for a rapist, a serial killer, a child molester, a defrauder, a cheater, and also a person that's living on the down low. They don't want the secret out. And if that means unaliving you to keep the secret in, then that's what he or she will do. Now, as you heard Walter Lee talking about, there are probably some women out here also who like women, and they are in relationships, married, dating. But a lot of men don't mind a woman sleeping with another woman because a lot of men are turned on with girl-on-girl action. But they won't condone men-on-men action, okay? Because it's been more acceptable women having relationships with women, okay? Sexual, however, but not acceptable for two men to be having sex. And I think most of us know this from looking in, seeing women in magazines and porn. It's just readily accessible, more acceptable to see two women having sex, kissing than two men. Why it's like that, I don't know. Maybe because it looks more appealing. Most people might not shun seeing two women kissing, but they'll shun if they see two men kissing and groping one another, and so on and so forth. But society made it that way. Think about it. Because when they were making these videos, magazines, it was more prevalent to see two women together, not two men. So it's what you get used to. It's what you get used to. And I'm sure there are some women who like women, attracted to women, but they're in a relationship with a man or married or choose to be with a male, but they also like women. And I'm sure there'll be some men who would not be accepting of this behavior, feel emasculated, like, well, I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. But what he needs to understand, it's not about you. More than likely, she's always been attracted to women or came to be attracted to women. Everyone's story is different. But as Walter Lee was saying, best to just be honest. So that way down the road, you won't have any problems. Because that is what people don't think about when they're being deceptive. They don't think the day that somebody's going to pop off. That's what amazes me about people. They lie. And then they act like it's no big deal when they're caught and the person is supposed to be understanding who's confronting them about the lie and the lies. And you're thinking, what? This person won't do anything to you, hurt you. Well, you're a fool if you think that. Because you don't know what would push a person over the edge. And a woman finding out that her man or husband is sleeping with men, that's just enough to push her over and exact bodily harm. And you're a fool to think that she wouldn't. You're a fool to keep sleeping with her. You're a fool to keep your clothes and belongings in the space with her. You are a fool. Because many people have lost their lives from finding out the other person was cheating with the opposite sex. So what do you think they'll do finding out you're sleeping with the same sex? To me, it's not worth the risk. Online women. Well, Teresa, more than likely, even if there was no social media, date sites or any of that, he still would be just a philandering person. And that's the one thing I try to explain to people about Facebook, date sites. A whorish person is just that. They're just a whore. No, I don't know how else to explain it. The date sites, the online Facebook, chit chat, X, all that shit, that's just a symptom. They have a problem. So it won't matter about it being social media. That's how they're picking up the women or the men. Because in the end, if there was no social media, no date site, they would still go out to the street and pick up a person the old-fashioned way. And they probably still do it that way. Social media is just an easier way to scam people, con people, lure people. That's all it is. Instead of people using it to meet and greet, make new friends, associates, there are people out here using it for, yes, sex, solicitation, human trafficking, pick up strangers for sex. That's just what they've chosen to do with it. Bottom line. So just like back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, when you heard about the guy next door that slept with every woman in town, he's got 4 or 5 babies over here and over there. Okay, fast forward years later, he now can use the internet. And all he has to do is just scroll, hit a button, make a friend. She accepts. He gets in her inbox. Hey, how you doing? You're so pretty, blah, blah, blah. And then he waits to see if she responds. Boom. He didn't even have to walk out the door. Same thing for a woman. She does the same thing. Oh, I've seen you out. Oh, I like your pictures. Boom, boom, boom. And she waits to get a response. That's all social media is. It has some good points, but then it has its downfall, using it for, as I said, prostitution, scams, whatever. You've got to know how to weed out the negative. You've got to pray for a discerning spirit if you don't have one. And frankly, anybody should be leery anytime you friend a person and they're already in your inbox as soon as you hit the damn button. Now they're in there. Hey, how you doing? What you doing? You should already know. Oh, here comes the bullshit. But some people can't see through that. And as Walter Lee was saying, there are probably a lot of lonely people, women, who don't want to see the signs that they have a philandering husband, a man who is on the down low. There are probably many women who see signs that a man is attracted to men. They just don't want to admit it to themselves because that's a hard thing to admit. You like a person a lot, or you fall in love with a person and they are showing signs that they like men. Now you got to ask yourself, am I going to confront this person and say, hey, I'm noticing some things about you that isn't right. You act rather feminine. You're jokey with men a lot, gay men, or you're touching, groping my homeboy, my friend, my brother. How do you pull it off your tongue? Now, you got some women who are boisterous. They'll just come on out and say, now, look at here. You acting like you gay. What the hell's going on with you? But then she might end up popped in the mouth and laying face down on the damn ground. And I can also see men in the closet being physical abusers, hitting a woman, beating her up because he's mad at himself that he likes both and he don't know how to come out that damn closet and tell the truth. We also have a problem with recidivism in our country with men going in and out of jail and prisons. And they're also participating in homosexuality in jail and prisons. And that really needs to be discussed. Because there's the propensity that a man will have relations with another man in prison. And I've even heard one guy saying it in a program years ago. He said, well, if I was getting a life sentence, 30 years to life or so, I probably would be with a man. And I thought, damn, I can't believe he said that in front of a camera. So imagine that. A man really likes women, but he gets a long term in prison and decides, well, I need to relieve myself. So I'll go ahead and let this guy, perform fellatio on me. But then one's going to say, well, how long are you going to keep letting him put his mouth down there and you ain't going to return the favor? You're just going to be content with just getting your thing, favor, and that's it. At what point are you going to decide to return the favor? Because a lot of men believe that's okay in prison. Well, I ain't doing it to him. I ain't putting my mouth on his penis. I ain't penetrating him in his buttocks, but he can put his mouth on mine. And then they'll come out of prison and tell, oh, yeah, I let him suck my private. And you're like, what did you say? Oh, okay. So now I'm supposed to be attracted to you after you just told me you let a man suck your penis. Okay. So you have no idea what's going on out here until you start hearing the rumors. And as you heard that earlier with the other guy, Mr. Ward, gay men love to talk. They love to gossip and they love to put their business out in the street. Now, I have seen some who do lie and make up shit about other men just because they're interested and those men weren't interested, so they're going to lie on them. But like they say, when you start hearing it for years and years and years, you start to wonder if there's some truth to it. And I've heard it about men here in the community here in Knoxville, few men. And I've heard it from more than one person. So then you have to start asking yourself, is this just gossip they're hearing from other people? Which 9 times out of 10 it is. But when you start hearing it more than once, you become leery. Oh, they're saying this about him. And that's a terrible thing for a woman to say that to another woman. Girl, you better be careful. And you're like, what do you mean? Girl, they say he like men. Can you imagine being interested in somebody and then somebody comes out and tell you the guy that you've been talking to or you've been having relationships, some type of relationship with, he's been having sex with men. And then imagine he also has a bunch of children. So you don't know what people are doing when you're not looking. You don't know what they were doing in their past. You don't know what they did yesterday before they got to you. Because as someone said in the chat, they're not representing their true self when they meet you. You know, it's just a carbon copy. It's not the real deal. You know, you're getting a duplicate. You want the original paper with the seal on it. And rarely do you get that when you meet people. Nobody wants to admit their sins to a complete stranger. I don't advise you do it. But one thing I will say, when you're talking about this type of situation, you need to be honest. If you know you like men, then say I like men. Just say it. You like men and women, then just say it. If you know you're not going to be faithful, say I'm not the faithful type. I'm interested. I like to talk to you. I just want to have sex with you. I want to take you out sometimes. I don't want a relationship. Then just say that and let the person let them be able to respond with an answer instead of you lying and manipulating, and then they catch you and now they feel duped. Because that's a terrible place to be, is to feel duped by somebody. When you could have just been honest in the first damn place. And men have a bad habit of doing this. Meet women, make it seem like they're interested, and then God forbid, you move too fast. As you heard that woman saying, 3 dates, boom, they're already dating. And then you start seeing signs that something ain't right with them. They're lying, they're cheating, they're not holding their weight, you know, whatever the issues are. And now you're feeling some type of way because you didn't spend enough time getting to know them. You know, what was that? Steve Harvey had that rule, 6-month rule? The average person probably can't even go 6 months without having sex with a person, dating. But maybe we do need to go long term. At least a couple of months, don't do nothing. Maybe a little kiss, a little hug, but nothing else. Until you learn this person that you're talking to, you're sharing your innermost thoughts, dreams, goals with, so you don't feel like a fucking fool. Because just imagine if you don't jump in the hay, you're just going out to dinner, to the movies, going out to events, but there's no sex involved. You'll probably see the truthful person within probably 2 weeks. The quirks, the rants, how they feel about politics, homosexuality, other races, children. Oh, I think you'll see the whole shebang. And if you really want to know what a person is about, just ask. Hey, how do you feel about kids? Hey, how do you feel about homosexuality? Hey, have you ever been with a man? Hey, how do you feel about girl-on-girl action? Hey, how do you feel about monogamy? How do you feel about cheating? Just ask. You don't have to wait and find out. But that's the whole point. Nobody really wants to just ask people those questions. You know, hey, how do you vote? Are you religious? Are you into politics? Because sometimes people feel like, it's a bit personal. They don't want to start off talking about religion, politics. But I think you should talk about those things in the beginning with people. That way you'll know who you're dealing with. Because just imagine you've never talked politics with a person. And then one day they start making derogatory commentary. Then you're like, oh, well, I'm a Republican. I'm a liberal. Now you're arguing over some bullshit when that shouldn't define you. You can be a decent person and identify with a Democratic or Republican. That shouldn't define you to where you're ready to go toe-to-toe and beat each other up. But because we have ignorant people who don't know how to act, it can get to that point. So this is why when you meet people, you need to ask all those questions. And I get it. Most men, they're funny about, you asking personal questions, but this is so you don't have to be hoodwinked later on. So you need to ask about family, children, homosexuality, religion, politics. You need to square all that shit away when you first meet them. You go out on a date, that's the perfect time to discuss all of that right there over a bowl of pasta. That way, when you get up from that table, you have a general idea of who the fuck you're talking to. Even if they're lying, you still got a little something to go on. And like I said, if you're dealing with this person daily, every few days out of the week, you're talking on the phone, you're meeting up, you're roller skating, you're going to the picture show, whatever you're doing, eventually he or she is going to reveal if they're talkative, non-talkative, communicate, don't communicate. They don't know how to answer a question. They can't give you a decent response. You're going to get all that. That's why I said in less than 2 weeks, you should about have a general idea of who the hell you're talking to. Now, it's not to say they ain't got no deep embedded secrets. Of course, people do. But if you start asking generalized questions, like I said, like you got a damn survey, you hand that bad boy out, gradually go into the conversations, wait to get a response, and then you can get a general idea. And then the rest is just going to be live and learn. Because that's all you got. That's my commentary for this late morning. Thank you for joining me. The next live stream will probably be several topics wrapped into one live stream so I can knock down some of my topics. I thank you for tuning into this late morning live. This was an unplanned one. The one I had planned, I decided to wait and do later today. But I wanted to talk about this download business because I think, it's a topic that needs to be discussed, especially in modern day and especially in the Black community where we have a lot of men coming out as homosexual, bisexual, transgender, and still some hide in the closet. And people need to know this is what's going on, whether you're white, Black, Hispanic. You need to know what's out here. And there are also other races of men who are also on the down low and sneaking around with men. So it's not just in the Black community. There are white men who are doing it as well. They're sneaking around on their wives and girlfriends. And as you see, cross-dressing and putting on makeup and shit. And the woman has no idea, as I brought you content a few months back of the politician down there in Alabama. He was on IG dressed up as a woman and nobody even knew it was him. But somebody found out and they outed him, and he eventually went on a drive. Police went to check on him and he got out of his car and unalived himself because he was outing. So see, this is what I'm saying, the ramifications of being caught. And I've also brought you content of athletes who have unalived men who were dressed as women, transgendered women. One Black athlete did it in Texas, killed a guy who was dressed up as a woman, killed her, him, however you want to describe him. And also a young Black boy who went to college in Virginia. He did the same thing to a white man. And he beat that man to where he was unrecognizable. This is why I'm saying why you need to live in your truth. And with those two cases, I believe those guys, both African-American, both were playing ball for colleges. They didn't want the truth to get out about them. And I think those gay guys put their ass on blast and was threatening to tell that they were in relationships or sexual relationships, and they didn't want that secret to get out. So they unalived him. The one in Texas, he shot the gay man found in a car, transgender woman in a car. She was dead in a car. In the case in Virginia, that white man was found dead in his apartment. So you don't know people. And so this is what everybody needs to think about it when getting involved with people. You don't think, there's no way you can think you can go out here and have sex with a man who's hiding his sexuality, and you think you can blackmail him or bribe him into coming out. It doesn't work that way. He will come out when he's ready to come out. You have to be the person to say, I'm better than this, and I don't want to sneak around with you. If we can't go out to the movies, to dinner, drinks, as a couple, I don't want you. But bribing the person and threatening to out the person to their friends, their college mates, you should already know that's a recipe for disaster. And you're probably not going to see daylight. And that's what happened with those two. They got murdered. They were murdered. And then you would have the case of the guy who's hiding, and the wife or girlfriend finds out and she tells him, well, I want you to go. I don't want to be with you. He could unalive her. Because he knows she'll probably go tell people. So what is it? I'll beat her to the punch, literally. That's why you have to be careful in the people you choose to take up with. And if you think you're going to confront them about something harrowing such as this, I would not confront them alone. I don't advise it. Because even if the person acts mild-mannered, they've never physically abused you, laid a hand on you, maybe not even raised their voice, you have no idea what he will do when you confront him with being gay. It may not turn out the way you think it will. Once again, if you'd like to donate to this great network, $McAndrew 129 Cash App, stickers and chats, super stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. I'll be back later on with more stimulating content. We're going to get a little juicy later, so look forward to an afternoon live. We're going to go dig in the belly of the beast pertaining to some subject matters. Rex Heuermann, his daughter, also some information I want to touch on pertaining to YouTube and the Sebastian Rogers case. You all have a wonderful morning. You have been listening to The Vote XL. Thank you.